All right, Paul here. I'm going to make this video pretty short. I've only got about 17 minutes of free space for videos. So I've seen a couple of videos here lately, or some posts in the traditional community about people wanting to know what they can do to improve their form. They're new shooters, just kind of looking for advice, which gives me the excuse to make a video. So I'm going to go over what I would do. My suggestions would be for a new shooter, and that would be simply consistency. Focus on consistency right in the beginning. Find something that you can do repeated every time, every shot, and I'm talking throughout the whole process, from your stance, your grip on the bow, the way you address the string, everything you do from the time that you knock that arrow to the time it hits the target. I want you to find a way to be as consistent as possible. If I have to holler at my dog, please excuse me. Mia, get out of the woods. So what I do is I'm going to show you just a simple little form shot that anybody can do, anybody can work on. So first, you want to knock an arrow. Now, I know a lot of you are hunters, some of you are target shooters, but I believe it's very important that you do everything the same. And when I mean everything, I'm talking from drawing the arrow to knocking the arrow to taking the stance. I mean from step one to step whatever that is to get the arrow in the target. Be as consistent as you possibly can, because that's just going to drive repeatability, and it's going to drive your arrow to hit where you want to each and every time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw my hat on backwards so I can get past the brim of my hat, or the brim, whatever you want to call it. The sun's all up in the face, but this is what we got. Sitting here about, I don't know, 15, 20-ish yards, somewhere in between 15 and 20. I don't know if these people are using an aiming method. I would suggest picking up one of those. Instinctive's great, but an aiming method's going to get you on target and accurate quicker. So here's what I do. Consistency. I pull my arrow out of my quiver. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it the way I do it, okay? I've got my grip on the bow. I pull my arrow out. I knock my arrows on this longbow the same every time. Whether I'm hunting 3D, whatever I do, I get ready, I'm doing the same thing each and every time. I'll address the string, which is going to be just right up on the arrow. As soon as I address the string and I get my string and the grooves of the fingers right, I'll address the hook of the bow, or the grip of the bow. I'll set my feet, and I want good balance. You want balance in the feet. You want a good firm foundation. I'll pull my bow arm straight up at the target. I'll set my back, draw the anchor, and I'll run the shot. Now, same thing. Pull the arrow out, anchor it in, or knock it up. Look at the target, know where you want to hit. Hook on the string, set grip in the bow, set my feet, set the back, draw the anchor, run the shot. And that's what you want to do starting out to drive accuracy, is doing something that you can do consistently every time. And if you do that, you'll find that you'll start gaining quicker than you were before. So I seen one guy, I'm not exactly sure the name, he was asking for form help. Move my dog out of the way. And when he come off the string, his hand ended up back here somewhere. That's a whole nother thing. It's a form and alignment issue, and he's pretty much holding the weight of the bow in the shoulder. So he's actually drawing with the arm, and the weight of that bow stays right here, so he has no choice but to try to get out of the way of the string, and that's just a little bit of bad form on his part. If you hold, or if you draw and hold with back tension, then you don't have to get out of the way of the string. The string will slip out of the hand because your tension is in the right direction. All right, just like that. If you will drive consistency in everything you do, from loading the arrow to the time it hits the target, then you'll be good to go. All right, I hope it helps. If you got any questions, don't hesitate to message me, Paul Helms, on Facebook. Hit me on Messenger, and I'll do whatever I can to get you where you need to be or wherever your goals are. All right, I'm signing out. You shoot straight. God bless. Mixing in a little bit of holding drills with execution drills. Gets a little shaky with this longbow, I ain't kidding you. It's just a whole different feeling. I don't know what it is, but 38 pounds on this longbow, or 30, whatever it is, 39 to 40, feels a whole lot harder than 38 pounds on a bear bow. I'm just doing the slightest bit. I must have paused that video instead of stopped it. The first one. Oh well, we'll edit it. I want minimal movement on release. There should be a rear movement, but it's not going to be this, it's not going to be this. It's going to be an inch or two of movement. Anything beyond that, in my opinion, is faked and adds no positives to the shot, only negatives. And we're out of arrows. Let's go collect. All right, a little bit of advanced form. Now, a lot of people don't know, or they don't understand. Some of them are doing it, but they don't understand what back tension really is. And it really is the driving factor in accuracy. Now, I can hold with my shoulder, and I can shoot with shoulder pulls and everything until I get tired. And when you get tired is when the fatigue is going to start showing the inconsistencies of what holding the weight of the bow with your muscles as opposed to bone on bone. So if you'll notice, when I set my shot up, watch my front shoulder. I'm going to draw the anchor. Watch my front shoulder. See that? Well, I don't know if you can, but so I'm going to act like so when I pull my bow up, I set. That's all I'm doing is taking from here to here. So when I set, what I'm doing is I'm pulling that scapula into the spine. I'm setting it, almost like setting my arm on a wall, if that makes sense. So I'm setting that scapula on that spine, and it's sturdy. If I was to push against a brick wall straight on like this with a straight arm, I could push a lot of weight. Well, if I push it with a bent arm, if I'm up here at full draw with a bent arm, I got all kind of problems. If my arm's locked out straight and that shoulder set to the spine, really sturdy bow arm, and it shouldn't move much. You shouldn't get a whole lot of this and a whole lot of this. You should have a good, nice, steady bow arm if you set the shoulder pre-draw. So the second part is the string side arm. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see this from the front side. I'll try to do it from the front and the back. But I'll come up, set the front shoulder, draw the anchor, and then load the weight. You'll see that elbow come down slightly. That's me pulling the anchor, loading the weight. The same thing I did on the front shoulder. I'm setting the scapula on the opposite side of the spine. So I come in and set everything, boom. right to the spine, and everything's right in line, and everything's nice and sturdy. That's what really, for me, in my understanding, what holding with back tension or holding bone on bone or using bone on bone alignment, it's all relevant, and it's all a part of the same form alignment. It's all together. And if you do that every time consistently, like I shared in the first video, it's got to be consistent. You've got to set the shoulder pre-draw. You've got to draw to anchor. You got to draw, come into anchor. Drawing to anchor this way is okay. I kind of like to come a little under anchor and then up to anchor. And then as soon as I hit up to anchor, I transfer that weight. And when you transfer the weight, the bow in itself should feel lighter because you're not holding it with your muscles anymore. Mia. Little rearward movement. Bow arm stood still. Boom. It's almost like you want to act as if you're holding a rubber band with tension. And someone takes a knife or scissors and cuts that rubber band. And then poof, that's all you're feeling. You're in alignment. Boom. Your arm doesn't go anywhere. His arm comes straight back. If your arm's coming out to the side, you're not in a good holding position. You have the weight of the bow in your shoulder or in your arm. If you come off with good tension and good direction, your hands are going to come straight back and your elbows are going to slightly go behind your head. It's the best way I can explain it. Tom Clum does a really good job talking about tension and direction in the Solid Archery Mechanics course on the Push pack. I really suggest that. That's really what paved the way for how I shoot now. I mean, that's all I'm doing is I'm executing the shot the same or close to the same as I can every time. Now I know in the hunting world where all this come about, I mean, you've got your leaners and all this, and dude, it's all relevant. There's going to be times you have to take a leaning shot or take a shot where you're not standing straight at a tee with perfect form and alignment. That is okay. What I do suggest is that you take every bit of the form and alignment and knowledge that you have and the consistency that you have and use as much of it as possible in every bow shot that you shoot. Then you won't ever be that far off. All right, so you see me shoot 4 arrows as consistent as I possibly could. All right, I'm gonna take you down there to the target and I'm gonna show you the target. Now, do they always look like this? No. Do I shoot bad shots? Yes, I do. But I mitigate the bad shots that I shoot through consistency and using good form and alignment. That's it. There's nothing else to it. Here they are. Got a couple 10s, got an 8 there, but definitely a good group that is possible because I shoot a good method that works for me and I'm as consistent with it as I possibly can. So from the time you pull the arrow out of your quiver and knock it on that string, you need to be doing it the same way every single time. If not, then you're doing yourself a disjustice. You're doing that shot a disjustice, and it won't be as consistent as it should be. So I hope it helps. If you need me, like I said, anytime, contact me, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can with whatever answers I got. If I don't have the answer you need, I will find out how to get the right answer for you. Okay? So this is Paul, signing out. Y'all shoot straight. God bless.